I don't know if this is live or not. Hello, welcome to Heaven's Magic Kitchen. We are live today in Hawaiian Paradise Park outside Hilo, Hawaii, east side of the Big Island. I'm here today. I'm going to make some yummies. I was outside today. It was kind of warm, so I'm a little bit spacey because when you come inside for being outside, it's a different world inside. The greenhouses are coming in, so we're starting to set up and get ready. Anyway, welcome to Heaven's Magic Kitchen. Today I'm going to make some pita bread, and I like fresh pita bread. It's just much softer and much more delicious. I'm going to do the setup for that, and then it's going to take a while for that to rise and everything. So while that's rising, then I'm going to make some tzatziki sauce and some hummus. So the ingredients that you will need for the pita bread, and I will put in the comments later on, I'll put the ingredients so you'll know what to use if you want to repeat this recipe or use it at home for yourself. Let me just start by touching base and saying, how's everybody doing today with all this lockdown? It's very interesting because I hear so many different perspectives, but from my world, not much has really changed because we stay home so much. And I don't like to take the kids a lot of places anyway, just because obviously they're my grandchildren and I didn't get a chance to breastfeed them, so I know their immune systems aren't as up to par as they could be. So I take lots of precautions, and we stay home, stay away from other people as much as we can. Of course, we have family and we visit with them and stuff. I don't keep my son from coming over here. He's been quarantining at his house in Hilo. My hair's so crazy today. And he came for Easter, and he's coming to set up the greenhouses and help Mom with stuff that needs to be done. So we have our own little circle, which I'm sure that most of us do have that. We also had a catastrophe the past few days. I noticed a while back that my refrigerator was having problems. It was leaking a little bit from the bottom, and we finally, I guess it was Monday morning, I woke up and my cream for my coffee was sour, and it was a brand new cream. And because I'm not going to the grocery store very often, I was very, very sad. And so I had to empty out the whole refrigerator and freezer. I had coolers going. I had all my freezer stuff in the bathtub with ice and I keep ice and packs of ice in the freezer. And so put that in the bathtub, turned on the fans, closed that room off. And in the meantime, they were going to pick up the refrigerator and didn't get back in time. So I knew the freezer was still working on that fridge. So I put stuff back in the freezer and held it overnight. And then didn't get back till late. So the next morning, we moved the refrigerator into the house, and it took 4 of us to move that thing into the house. It was a giant thing. And it's beautiful. It's a brand new fridge. I love it. It's nice to have a clean, brand new place to put your food. It feels good. So now I have a new fridge. I had to obviously it took me 2 days basically to get through that thing. And then yesterday, my internet went down, and so we had a day without internet, which was pretty nice. It was very relaxing, and I got a lot of stuff done. And today I decided to do a live feed. So here we are. Going to make pita bread. You will need 2 cups of flour. White organic flour is organic, unbleached, all-purpose flour. And then a half a cup of whole wheat flour. You don't have to use whole wheat flour, but you can. I like it this way. So it's just a little bit, half a cup of whole wheat flour. You will need 1 teaspoon of salt, a tablespoon of sugar, and a tablespoon of olive oil, 1 cup warm water, and 2 teaspoons of yeast. So I'm going to take my first let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ingredients and mix them into a mixing bowl. So I'm going to use my big round glass bowl because I like this very much. Mixing bowl, nice big mixing bowl. So we'll mix the flour. Again, that's 2 cups of flour. I'm going to put this so you can kind of see what I'm doing as I'm doing it. 2 cups of flour. One. I should be wearing an apron. 2 cups of flour and a half a cup of wheat flour. So here I store my flour in the refrigerator because it's very humid and our stuff doesn't last long in the cabinets. I'm getting weevils or whatever. Oh, I'm spelling my stuff over here. Spilling yeast. That's not good. I have my yeast already. Wanted to double check the measurement on the yeast. I'm using the active dry rapid rise instant yeast, the fast acting yeast. You can use the regular yeast if you want to, then you just have to proof it first ahead of time. So I've got flour. I'm going to do a teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm using pink Himalayan sea salt. You can use kosher salt or whatever salt you like to use. I'm going to use a tablespoon of sugar. And then we're going to want to mix our dry ingredients together. I was making warm water and I boiled it. We have on-demand water heater, and sometimes my kitchen takes too long for the warm water to come up here, so I just keep some warm water in the boiling pot. So I mix my dry ingredients together pretty well. I'm going to add a tablespoon of olive oil to that. And I'm hoping I'm going to have enough olive oil for everything. I'm running low, and you can't really substitute olive oil because it's just got that wonderful flavor. Okay, let me get my wooden paddle. So I use my wooden paddle and mix all of that oil in with the dry ingredients. Mix that together. Oh, see, I knew I needed an apron. I should grab it because this is going to get kind of messy. Okay. Here we go. Put my apron on. That way I don't get my little sundress all filthy. I already have an oil stain on it. I can get that out later. Anyway, my apron on. Whew, I'm getting a little heated. It's hot today. Is there anybody out there? Anybody watching today? I don't know how you can tell if you have viewers. I've never been able to quite figure this out. I can tell when someone hits a like or something like that, but don't know if anybody's watching. So if you're watching, say hello. Welcome to my magic kitchen. Okay, so I've got that mixed with the oil, and then I'm going to set up my water, which, because I have very hot water, I'm going to use a little bit of cold water and a little bit of hot water. So warm water, suggested temperature is about 99 to 100 degrees. We're going to take 2 teaspoons of our fast-acting yeast, and I'm just going to drop this. Let me show you. I'm just going to drop this into the measuring cup and mix it together. My little, okay. And just mix it together, just till it's dissolved. And then I'm going to add it into my flour mixture. So I'm just going to make a little well in the center and then add this in there. And get all of that out of there, all that yeast out. You know, in the old days, they didn't go by yeast. They would just let their flour and water sit on the counter and make their own yeast. I think you can just let it set for a couple days and you can make your own yeast. So that's a good thing to know. You can't get to the store, especially nowadays. We were having a hard time getting some. I don't know now. I went a few days ago and the store was pretty well stocked, so I think that they're catching up, but I don't know how it's going to be if this continues. What happens to the food chain? Anyway, so I'm mixing this up, getting it nice and turning it into one cohesive dough. So it's getting to the shaggy stage now. Mix that up real good. Scraping the sides to get all the flour off. I like my big paddle for this. Many years ago, I worked in the Tbsp kitchen. I was an assistant pastry chef there. And I loved that we had those big Hobarts to mix our dough for us. Because mixing dough works muscles that you don't normally use. It's labor intensive. And I have arthritis and carpal tunnel, so sometimes it hurts my hands a little bit. Anyway, as it starts to get like this, where I can't mix it too much anymore, this with the paddle, I'm just going to start using my hands. Of course, my hands are clean. Wash them before I started all of this. Just work it through. Seems like it needs more water, but maybe not. Just keep working it through. So is anybody out there trying new things now that you've been at home, not working at your job, because working at home sometimes is harder than most people think, especially if you are cooking dinner for your families and doing projects. Working on a major cleaning project and moving all the rooms around, and you can only do so much at a time, so it's a big process, especially when you have little ones. Anyway, it's almost there. I'm going to turn it out onto floury surface. And I'm going to knead this dough. So I'm going to give myself a little bit of room, and I have all of my ingredients up here, so I don't have a lot of space. I'll create some space for myself. Hi, Jordan. Nice to see you. Yeah, the whole cooking show thing, or it's, just kind of sharing my stuff. I'm going to start doing stuff in the garden soon. So I can show just kind of how I do things. I don't know, share what I know, share what I've learned. I think it's a good thing. So much information, and there are people out there that didn't grow up the way that I did, and they don't even know the first step to take to cook food or to grow a garden. So I've been very blessed. Anyway, now I'm going to start to knead this dough out. And you're just kind of pinching and pressing. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. You're just kind of pinching and pressing and stretching. Stretching, pinching, pressing with your heels of your hands. And recommended like 8 to 10 minutes to get that gluten going. You want this to get nice and puffy at the end. There's a place in Taos. I don't know if they have the same people that they had before, but El Gamal. Used to make the best fresh pitas. I better kind of take a look at the time. 2:20. This dough feels like it's a little bit not quite good enough, but I think it's okay. Just keep working it. Work that dough, work those muscles. I use totally different muscles holding the baby all day, picking him up and down. He's super heavy. I can't even hold him out straight in front of me. He's just this giant kid. Anyway, I'm going to keep kneading this dough. Hi, Melissa. Oh, I miss you. I want to talk to you so much. I haven't touched base with you. I want to hear how the baby's doing. All that stuff. Oh, there's so many people. I've not been good about communicating. I kind of get lost in my own little world in this house with these children. Anyway, we're going to go 222. The dough is feeling really good, but I want to work it a little bit more. Oh, honeybee. So we have some of our hula stuff up. Pele did some stuff to help teach Ayla, Melissa, so I'm really excited about that. Do some practicing. I wish you were here to practice hula with me. Oh, it's been so rainy and stuff here, and it's a really nice day today. And I kind of don't like to be in the kitchen when it's super nice outside, but I spent some time this morning building a small little greenhouse. And wanted to make this stuff. I got to use my cucumbers for the tzatziki sauce. I'm also going to be doing some lilikoi. I think I'm going to do some lilikoi butter, some lilikoi jam here pretty soon. I'll share that. I'm going to be doing wontons. I think this dough is ready. It's supposed to give you a little bit of resistance. You push in on your dough, and it should give you a little resistance to come back. So I don't even think that I needed to knead it that long. Maybe it's because of the temperature in this house, but it's looking pretty good already. We haven't even gone that long. Beautiful dough. Will go a little longer. I've only been doing it for like, I don't know, 3 minutes maybe. I'll give it like 3 or 4 more minutes. Just knead that dough. Stretch, stretch, pinch, stretch, pinch, stretch. Oh, Melissa, I wish you guys were here too. I wish you guys would come back to Big Island. So for those that know me, I don't have a big circle of friends, but I just had a few. And most of my friends moved off island. My last friend to move off island was my friend Melissa, my honeybee. She's my hula sister. And oh, I miss her so much. I miss my friend Heidi. And then some of my other friends are out of touch, MIA. So it's gotten to be a quiet little world for me here, other than the kids, which is probably good for this time because now I'm not wanting to socialize so much. I was thinking about that, like that there's some people that are, they can't go out and have a drink with their friend or go to lunch with their friends. And I wasn't really doing that, so I don't feel like I'm missing that so much. I kind of got used to it ahead of time. So I feel for you out there that are feeling like you're stuck or that you're trapped. I also want to give a shout out to my brother. He's at the VA in Toma, Wisconsin. They have them on lockdown. It's really, really sad how they treat their veterans. I get it that we're in quarantine, but he could use a mask to go for a walk or go to at least leave the building, go to the store, something. Like they have some really weird policies there. So everybody pray for my brother being in lockdown over there. We're not prisoners just because we're going through this. We're not prisoners. We're still a free nation, and we can't forget that. We can't let them take liberties away from us while they're doing whatever they're doing in the background. It's hard to pay attention to what the government is up to, but you really need to be aware of what's happening. I don't want this to get too, a little more. Okay, how long am I going to do? 26. Let's do a minute more. Another minute or so. So I find that if I buy bread, I don't know. For one thing, it doesn't taste as good unless you're going to a good bakery. But I get heartburn and stuff from the, I don't know if it's from the gluten or sugars, or probably not the gluten, because if I eat homemade bread, it doesn't make me feel bad. If I eat store-bought bread, it doesn't make me feel good. I don't know what they're using in that stuff. So anyway, that's looking like a beautiful little round of bread. So what I'm going to do then is take my bowl and I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil on the bottom of my bowl and just coat this. And I've had a damp towel. I like to use a damp towel so it keeps it nice and moist. And then I stick that in my oven. It's not a preheated oven or anything like that. It's just my oven. And then I'm going to wipe the flour off. And we can start on the next thing, which I think I will do the tzatziki sauce. So that's going to that dough is going to rise for a couple of hours, and then I'll punch it down, and I'll put it in the comments, or maybe I'll go live when I go show later. But I'm going to punch it down, then roll it into a log, and then I'm going to slice it into however many pitas that I want to do, and then I'm going to shape them round, and then I'm going to flatten them and roll them out and place them on a cookie sheet, and then I will let them rise for another half an hour, and then I'm going to cook them on the stove, like on a frying pan, just like you do tortillas. It's a little bit different. You press on them. You want to make sure that they seal so the steam creates the big puff pita. Wash the hands, wash the hands. Always washing your hands. Okay, so next we have, I'm going to go to the refrigerator here and get my cucumbers. So I've had my cucumbers sitting in the refrigerator, sliced up, diced up, and then I put them in a strainer, and I strained out all the juice. I'm just going to dump that juice out, and then I'm going to use my cucumbers here. Let me tell you the ingredients. So those are the cucumbers. They've been strained. They've been you can put them in a cheesecloth and strain them out to get the moisture out. And they're just diced really small. The fineness of your dice just depends on how you like it in your tzatziki. I like chunks. Some people like it a little more smooth or just small pieces. You can put them in the food processor if you want to do it like that. So I'd use that cucumber. I'm going to use some plain yogurt. I love my brand new refrigerator. It's so pretty and bright. My other one wasn't quite as bright. Anyway, I'm just using brown cow plain yogurt. You can use the Greek yogurt, makes it a little bit more smooth. And let's see, I have my things gone here. So the ingredients that you're going to need is 1 cucumber. I wrote it out so that it makes it a little bit easier. And I will put the recipe in the comments later on when I'm all done. So I'm going to do 1 cucumber, 1 teaspoon salt, 4 to 5 cloves of garlic. Should have minced that ahead of time. A teaspoon of white vinegar and a tablespoon of olive oil, and 2 cups of Greek yogurt. Let me grab my garlic. I should have done this ahead of time. I was trying to prep some stuff, but it's kind of hard. I'm kind of a cook as I go. Like a lot of the things that I make. In fact, I made something the other night, and my daughter was reminding me of the soup that I made. That she's like, oh, what's that soup you made? It was so good. Do you remember what it was? And she was trying to tell me what was in it and stuff. And I don't remember because I make a lot of things that I don't measure. I just kind of am in the kitchen, just going to town. Anyway, I'm going to get some, it's calls for 4 to 5 cloves of garlic, but my garlic is kind of big chunks. So, and that's just kind of all preference as well. So I'm going to do my garlic, get it ready. Get a nice hammer. These are really big things of garlic, so I could probably get away with 2 of them, but I'll use these 3. And you can do this in the food processor. You can chop them up. I'm just going to mince them real quick here. I like chunks of garlic in my sauce too because I'm a garlic freak. Garlic is a natural antibiotic. It's so good for you. It can cure lung infections. I know that for sure. I cured a lung infection many years ago. My mentor, Lucy McCall, taught me that. And eat like 7 cloves of garlic a day. It's pretty nar, but it's what a incredible medicine this stuff is. So yes, it keeps the vampires at bay. The vampires. Mince that garlic. Okay, so there's a little bit. I'm curious to know what other people are making out there. I'd love to see some of you doing some live feeds or some videos sharing what you do in your kitchen. It's fun to see how other people do things or what variations people do, you know. Cooking is the spice of life. Cooking is what keeps us going. It keeps our families going. Keeps us connected to our past, to our ancestors. You know, like I've always been a natural Italian cook. It's always been my favorite, and I've just kind of taken to it very well. And I'm Sicilian. I'm half Sicilian, 53% according to my ancestry DNA thing. So my family came over in the early 1900s from Sicily during the big wave of people coming from Italy, until they stopped them from coming because there were so many of us. And my great-grandfather Giovanni, Mondini came over with his family, brought his children. And so I've watched some of the videos of like Sicilian cooking and stuff like that, just because it gives me a feeling of connection. Anyway, that's a lot of garlic, so I'm not going to use this other one. I'll save that for something else. Oh, there's a big chunk. Let's not have that big. That would be not so nice. Maris got that. She wouldn't like that too much. Anyway, I'm going to put in the salt, which is 1 teaspoon. Where's my salt? Oh, I put it over here. Keep up with myself here. 1 teaspoon of salt. And then we have 1 teaspoon of white vinegar. I love vinegar for household cleaning. I was going to shoot that out there, that after I had all that stuff going on with my refrigerator, of course, I had things melting on my floor and people tracking through my house. And we don't wear shoes over here in Hawaii, you know. In our houses, of course, we wear shoes, but not in our house. But we don't wear shoes inside, and so we had to use shoes to, of course, bring in the refrigerator. So I mop my floors, and I was thinking I should show the secret of what I do to mop my floors. So I use vinegar, and then I use oils. I use essential oils. I use tea tree. What else did I put in the other day? I think I put in, well, tea tree, of course, is antiviral, antimicrobial, antibacterial, so I use that. You can use lavender. I think I put in some lemon oil or some orange, some juniper just for some nice fragrance. Anyway, that's what I mop my floors with. I have children, and I have a baby that's just about to crawl. He's kind of rolling around on the floor, and so I don't want him to, 1 tablespoon of olive oil is the next ingredient. I don't want him to have all those harsh chemicals on his hands when he's crawling on the floor. So vinegar works wonders. Okay, so, and then I'm going to use a 1/4 teaspoon of ground white pepper. White pepper. You know, McCormick's now has non-GMO. I don't know if they're organic or not, but, oh, this is organic. USD organic, non-GMO, organic ground white pepper. But I always try to look for stuff that is organic or non-GMO. Sometimes you can find stuff that you're looking for that is organic or non-GMO. And I always remember what my Uncle Dell told me when he talked about, you know, the kind of foods. We had made a conversation about white bread or something. And he said, it's not what goes into a man that defiles him, but what goes out of him. So it's how what we express to the world, that's what defiles who we are. So remember that we need to enjoy our lives. We can't always be perfect, organic, you know, pure. It's a nice idea, but the world we live in, you know, we try not to support that, but we can't always. And sometimes it's okay to cheat and have, you know, something, I don't know, cheeseburger or whatever. But we're not here for usually not more than 100 years. Life is short, and it's great to be healthy, but it's also important to live our lives, and it's important to do what nourishes our soul. So when we leave this plane and we go on to the next, we want to be able to know that we were a good person. And so I think that we can't always be so hung up on, oh, it has to be organic. I'm vegan. I only eat this. I only eat that. I think that is like being fanatical about that stuff is a little over the top for me. So let me see. Groovy for you if that's what you do, but I think that's unnecessary in my book. Because happiness is a very big, important part of health. And if we get anal about every little thing, we're not bringing ourselves joy or everybody around us. You know? Anyway, I'm doing my lemon. I'm doing it on with a little juicer because my big mechanical juicer just gave out and haven't replaced it. It's a big bulky thing too. I think I'm going to get a different one next time, one of those smaller ones. I have this big, tall mechanical juicer and it didn't last for very long. Well, I guess it lasted like 5 years, but anyway. So there's my lemon juice from 1 lemon. It should be about 1/4 cup. Mine's a little bit shy. Actually, this one doesn't call for lemon. That's for my hummus. What am I thinking? Okay. I put in cucumber, salt, garlic, white vinegar, olive oil. I'm going to put in 2 cups of Greek yogurt and then the ground white pepper. So let me get my Greek yogurt here. put this lemon aside for a minute. Okay, 2 cups of Greek yogurt. It says the Greek yogurt. I usually use Greek, but I don't have that. I have the brown cow, which is fine. 1. This bowl might be too small. I do that sometimes. 2 cups of Greek yogurt. Actually, it's probably just the right size. And then mix it up. And I like to do my sauces ahead of time like this, my hummus and stuff, because the flavors meld as it's setting. It sits in the refrigerator. Same thing like with chili and salsa. Like my chili, I always find is better the next day after it's had time to just everything meld together. All those flavors to intensify, to become more cohesive. So mix that all together. It's really easy, nice and chunky. I like it chunky. Some people make it more smooth. You could even take this and then just put it in your mixer or your, I have a little Ninja that I use to mix stuff, which I'll do my hummus in. Anyway, that's all mixed up. Give it a little taste. So delicious. So delicious. Let me get a top for this. I wish you could taste it. So put that away. And we'll have some for that later with Pita. Okay, so the next thing on the agenda, let's clean this up a little bit. Stuff out of the way. Put my yogurt away. Where did I put the top for the yogurt? Well, I do these things often. Don't know what I did with the top for the yogurt. I'll find it. It's here somewhere. You get to be in my kitchen. See what I'm like in the kitchen here. I'm just going to put a little thing on it to cover it for now until I find the top. Put that in the refrigerator. Okay, so next I'm going to make some hummus. And I'm going to start with my trusty little Ninja. Plug that baby in. And first thing you want to do is blend your tahini and your lemon juice. So I have some tahini here. It's just ground sesame seeds. All tahini is. You can probably make it yourself. But my sesame seeds had something in them, moths or something. Anyway, this is going to take a 1/4 cup of tahini. I'm at the bottom of my jar, so I got to get a long spoon in there. Trying to get it out of there. The bottom of the tahini jar. Okay, so about a 1/4 cup. This is kind of more of a paste right now because the oil and stuff is separated. But I can just take some of that with the oils. And then I'm going to put some lemon juice. I'm going to add a little bit more lemon because also about 1 lemon, about 1/4 cup. But I'm a little bit shy and I like it kind of lemony. So I'm going to do another 1/2 lemon. Another 1/2 of lemon. Lemon is delicious. When I was a little kid, I used to get in so much trouble because I like to eat lemons, peel and all. And my mom would get mad at me and she said they were damaging the enamel on my teeth, which maybe she was right because I never had perfectly white teeth. Anyway, a little bit more lemon juice. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is mix that together, the lemon juice and the tahini. And then you can go in there and scrape it a little bit. Make sure, because mine was a little bit clumpy because, like I said, it was the bottom of the thing and it gets a little bit thick. Oh, Maris is awake. They all had a nice nap time together. That was. They played outside this morning. Okay, and then I'm going to throw a clove of garlic. I'm going to throw that other clove of garlic in there so it's a little bit spot. Throw a clove of garlic in there, mix that up. First. I am using a can of garbanzo beans, organic garbanzo beans. I was going to use fresh garbanzo beans, but I hadn't soaked mine yet. So I decided that I'm gonna take some of those. I have a bunch of garbanzo beans and I like to cook them. But when you're going to do them at home yourself, you need to soak them first for a day. You need to, any kind of beans that you're gonna use, you can even do this with almonds or nuts. You soak them overnight and or at least 24 hours to bring them back to the live state. So you're eating live food. These ones I'm going to make garbanzo sprouts out of. So I'm soaking them, and then tomorrow I'll rinse them, and then I have this great sprout jar, and I'll make sprouts. You can use a mason jar with a screen, or they have those little plastic lids or whatever. But I didn't have any sprouted. I wasn't thinking ahead. So I always keep some beans for backup in the fridge. So I'm just using, I love the Safeway Organics. Hopefully they are organic. They're great. Anyway, I'm going to drain them. Now, if you want your hummus to be super, super smooth, you could take off the peels. But these ones are already peeled. Oh, nice. Okay, so they will be smooth. So you're only going to do a little bit at a time to add so that, and I think this has a measurement for the olive oil too. Let me see what I have here. I don't usually measure, so I kind of did a rough estimate of what I do. So I think it's like 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Anyway, let's see. So that's some of those. Tablespoon of olive oil. I'll put the olive oil in after. In the end, let's keep going with this, grinding this stuff up. You can go through there and scrape that. Make sure you get it from the sides. A big mess. Okay, I'll just add the rest of those in there. And I'm going to I'll just add a little bit of juice to keep it smooth. Okay, so I'm going to add some olive oil to that. That's about a tablespoon. All right, about a tablespoon of olive oil. Hummus and tzatziki is so easy to make, and I love it so much. Kids love it. They love pitas. Anyway, keep going with that. Check the consistency. Still looks a little bit chunky. Should have saved some of that bean juice. Sometimes that happens. Maybe I'll use a little bit more lemon juice. Where's that other lemon? Use a little more lemon juice. So these lemons were small, so I ended up using 2. Little seeds in there. Josh, you need some help. Put a little more olive oil. That's why the measurements sometimes are a little bit off. You can just tweak it a little bit. Okay, I'm going to bring it all back into the center and then have it go around again. I'm going to add a little bit of cumin to this. I don't like mine too cuminy, but just a little bit, just a little shake. And then I put a little bit in the top and I add it to the bowl. The olive oil on top. I'll show you when I'm all done. Keep going. Keep going. And then I'm just going to add just a splash of water just to give it a little bit more creaminess. Just a splash. And make it nice and smooth. I don't ever run that for like longer than 30 seconds. And that is looking lovely. So I'm going to grab a bowl to turn it up onto. Spatula. And then we'll scrape all that stuff off the beaters or the blades. Yummy, yummy, yummy. There we are. Scrape it all out of there. Listen, I want to catch up with you. I'm curious to see if you're what you're doing at home with the baby. Anyway, then I kind of swirl it around, and I want to make some little places, tracks for the olive oil. I sprinkle a little bit of olive oil in the top, and then dust it with a little bit of cumin. Come out. A little too much. Anyway, There we go. And then this will set up in the refrigerator also. You can add different things to it. I like to add piñon nuts to this. I just sprinkle them on the top. And let me get a top for this. You could add, yeah, you could do roasted garlic, you could do roasted red peppers, you could do olives, whatever suits your fancy. So I'm going to stick that in the refrigerator, and then I will have that in my pita bread. So the dough is rising, and I don't know when I put it to rise. It probably not too long after I started doing this. So I will check that dough. We've been on for almost an hour, so I will check that dough in about an hour. So around 4 o'clock, and that's going to be like right on time, getting close to dinner time. I'll probably do a video. I don't know if I can probably live feed that, or I'll just post a video at the end, depending on what's happening in the house as I'm doing that. So thanks for tuning in today. Thanks for joining me in my kitchen. I'm trying to be a little bit regular. It's kind of hard to do. This house gets kind of mad sometimes. And the whole refrigerator fiasco just kind of put me off for 2 days of what I was doing. But it's okay because we're lining up. My son ordered some greenhouses. I ordered a small one. They were going to put up like 3 or 4 greenhouses out there. Different things we're going to be doing. I have some ornamentals. I do my orchids. I have vanilla orchids growing. I want to be growing my own vanilla. So I'll have one greenhouse for those kind of things, and then one obviously for my babies and starts, and then stuff that's some things that he wants to do, and obviously the kids helping in there as well. So I will be sharing some of that as we're doing that. And thanks for tuning in. I hope you're enjoying the time and the peace that you have at home. I hope you're enjoying your family and appreciating spending time with them, taking care of them. Just love each other. That's what we need to do, is just love each other through all of this. And, there's some people that are going through stuff. We don't have a lot of cases on this island, but I think one is too many, just because it can be so deadly. I know flus and stuff. People have different theories about whatever. There's people die of flu, people die of this, people die of that. Yes, it's a shame that people die of those things. We all die. But this virus is kind of spooky because it's new and people don't know what it is, and it's scary. Someone that's immune compromised like myself and a lot of my friends, that people that have lung issues and stuff, it is scary. But I don't live my life in fear. And so the other day, my granddaughter's father asked if she could come over, and I said, of course. I'm not going to keep her from coming over, and I'm not going to halt my life in that way, because I want to spend the time that I have in my life with my family. And there's a lot of my family that I don't have around me, and people that I haven't even met yet, and people that I miss. And so if I have an opportunity to be with my family, my granddaughter who needs me and I need her, and her siblings need her, then of course I'm going to say, yes, you can come over. I'm not going to be, oh my God, no, they might have corona or something like that. I'm not going to act like that. I don't live my life in fear. I live my life in love, and I send love to all of you and my friends. I want to send a message to my Auntie Pabla. I heard you were not doing well, that you had another stroke, and if you get a chance to see this, or if anybody in the family is seeing this, we're sending you so much love and hugs and just prayers for you and all of the family, that you pull through, that your health returns to you. And to all my friends and family, I love you. Have a wonderful day or evening wherever you are. It's already 3 o'clock here, so it must be like nighttime over there somewhere. But thanks for joining me today. Have a wonderful evening. Aloha.